The unexpected visitors, it was a quiet night. The sky was clear and the wind was soft. In a small house far from the city, a young man named Ryan sat alone. He lived a simple life. He liked peace, and he didn't talk to many people. But tonight something was different. Ryan was reading a book when he heard a strange sound outside. It wasn't an animal. It wasn't the wind. It was like a soft humming mixed with a crackling sound. He stood up and walked to the door. He opened it slowly and looked outside. At first he saw nothing, just darkness. Then two figures came out of the trees. They were small, thin, and shaking. As they came closer, Ryan saw something that made his heart stop. They were not human. They looked like teenage girls, but their skin had a soft blue glow. Their eyes were large and silver. Their clothes were torn. One of them was hurt and holding her side. The other one looked at Ryan with fear in her eyes. "Please," she said in broken English. "Help us. Don't let them find us." Ryan didn't move. He didn't know what to say. He had never seen anything like them. We are not bad," the girl said. "We ran away. We don't want to go back." The hurt girl fell to her knees. The other one tried to hold her up. Ryan looked around. The night was quiet, but he felt something in the air. Something was coming. "Who are you?" he asked. The standing girl took a step forward. "We are sisters. We escaped. They are looking for us. If you help us, we will give you something powerful." Ryan's heart beat faster. He looked at the hurt girl again. She was bleeding. Not red blood, silver. He didn't know what to do. This could be dangerous. This could be a trap. But they looked scared. They looked like they were telling the truth. He stepped aside and said, "Come in." They walked in slowly. The unhurt sister looked at him and gave a weak smile. "Thank you." Inside, Ryan gave them water and something to clean the wound. The sisters spoke in a soft, strange language to each other. Then the unhurt one turned back to Ryan. "My name is Alira," she said. "This is my sister, Nira." Ryan nodded but asked nothing. He was still in shock. Aliens. In his home. Two young sisters asking for help. "You said someone is after you?" Ryan asked. Alira looked down. "Yes. Our people. They don't let anyone leave. We ran away. We saw what they did to others. We didn't want that." Ryan didn't fully understand. "Why come to Earth?" "It was the closest place," she said. "And we heard things about humans. Some say your kind is different." Nira made a soft sound. She was weak. Alira held her hand and looked at Ryan again. "We don't want trouble. We only need time, just a little time to rest, and then we'll leave." Ryan was quiet. He didn't know if this was a dream or real, but he saw their fear, and something in Alira's eyes told him she was not lying. "What did you mean?" Ryan asked. "When you said you'd give me something powerful." Alira looked at her sister, then back at him. "We carry something inside us, not a weapon, a gift. Something that can help humans, but only if we are safe. If we die, it dies with us." Ryan didn't know what to say. This was too big. He had no idea how to handle it. Suddenly a loud sound filled the sky, a deep hum like a huge machine moving fast. The house shook slightly. Ryan and the girls looked up. Alira's face turned pale. "They found us." Ryan rushed to the window, but saw nothing, just darkness. "We don't have much time," Alira said. "Please, just let us stay a little longer." Ryan nodded slowly. He didn't know who was coming or what they wanted, but he knew one thing. These girls were afraid, and someone was coming to take them back, or worse. That night, Ryan didn't sleep. He sat near the window watching the sky, waiting. The deal Ryan had seen many strange things in life, but nothing like this. Aliens, in his house. Two sisters with glowing skin and silver blood. And now, someone, or something, was searching for them in the sky above. Morning came, but the sun did not bring peace. Ryan stood in the kitchen, staring at the girls as they sat silently. Alira was holding her sister Nira, who still looked weak. Neither of them had slept. "You said they found you," Ryan said. Alira nodded, but not fully. If they knew, they would already be here. Ryan didn't understand who they were. He didn't know what these girls were hiding, but he knew danger was close. "Why are they chasing you?" he asked. Alira looked at him for a long time before answering. "We were made for a purpose, a plan we did not choose. Our people, they don't allow mistakes, they don't forgive freedom." Ryan narrowed his eyes. "What plan?" Alira didn't answer. Instead, she reached into a small silver pouch tied to her arm. She pulled out something no larger than a coin. It was clear like glass, but shimmered with a light from inside. "This," she said, "is a key. It opens a path to something very old and very powerful. It is hidden on Earth." Ryan stared at it. "You brought that here?" "No. It was already here. Long ago. We only brought the key." Nira suddenly coughed. Silver drops ran down her lips. Ryan moved to help, but Alira raised a hand. "She needs rest and time." Ryan sat down across from her. "So what do you want from me?" Alira held his gaze. "We need a few days. In return, we give you the key. You help us, and this power can be yours." Ryan laughed once, quietly. "What kind of power?" Alira looked serious. "The kind that can change a world, heal a dying planet, evolve your kind, but only if used right." He didn't know whether to believe her. The coin-like object looked simple, but there was something about it. It felt alive. Alira placed it on the table and slid it toward him. "You can keep it now, but it will only work if we are safe. If we die, it locks forever." Ryan picked it up. It was warm to the touch, almost like it could feel him. "You're trusting me?" he asked. Alira's voice was quiet. "We have no one else." The room was silent for a moment. Then Ryan stood and looked out the window. The sky was cloudy. Strange lines moved above the clouds like invisible ships cutting through the air. He turned back to them. "You stay here. I'll take care of food. No lights at night. And if anyone comes, you hide. Understand?" Both girls nodded. Just as Ryan stepped outside, he noticed something strange in the dirt near the edge of the forest. A strange mark like a large boot print, but not human. It was deep, heavy. He bent down and touched the edge. It was still fresh. He looked back at the house. Someone, or something, had already been here. Later that day, Ryan visited the local market. People were normal, talking, laughing, but something felt off. A black car was parked near the store, windows tinted, engine off. Inside the store, a man in a black suit was asking the shopkeeper quiet questions. Ryan watched from behind the shelves. He heard one line clearly. "Have you seen anything strange lately? Lights? Visitors?" The shopkeeper shook his head. Ryan left quickly. As he drove back, his hands gripped the wheel harder. Whoever was looking, for the girl, they were already on Earth. Back at home, Nira was sleeping. Alira was sitting by the window holding the key. Ryan sat beside her. "They're close," he said. Alira nodded. "Then we don't have much time." He looked at the key again. "What happens if they get it?" Ryan asked. Alira's face turned cold. "They won't use it to help. They'll use it to rule. First us, then you." That night, Ryan placed the key in a metal box and buried it behind the house. He didn't fully trust the sisters yet, but he trusted whoever was after them even less. And in his heart, he felt it. This wasn't just about two girls anymore. This was about Earth. And it had already begun. Hidden truths. Ryan couldn't stop thinking about the key. Even though he buried it, he felt its weight in his mind. It was like it was calling to him, whispering thoughts that were not his, dreams that didn't feel human. He didn't tell the sisters. Not yet. That night, while the girls were resting, Ryan walked into the woods with a flashlight. He followed a strange pull in his chest, something he couldn't explain. He stopped where he had found the boot print. Now there were two more. One was larger, and beside it a small silver feather. It glowed faintly and was warm in his hand. Ryan picked it up and quickly returned to the house. Alira saw his face and stood up. "You found something." Ryan opened his hand. "Do you know what this is?" Alira's eyes widened. "This is not from us. This is from the hunter." Ryan frowned. "The hunter?" Alira nodded slowly. "He is not a soldier, he is worse. He doesn't take orders, he takes trophies." Ryan looked at the glowing feather again. It now felt cold. "He's already on Earth, isn't he?" "Yes," Alira said. "And he can smell the key. If it's awake." Ryan's heart dropped. "Awake?" "You touched it." "It woke up," she said. He didn't tell her he had also dreamed about strange places, cities in the sky, a star burning black, a voice saying his name. That night Ryan couldn't sleep, and neither could Alira. They sat by the window, whispering while Nira slept. Alira told him the truth. Her people were not just travelers, they were collectors. They moved from world to world, searching for life, searching for power. Planets that obeyed were kept. Planets that resisted were erased. But some among them began to feel guilt. Alira's mother was one of them. She believed Earth was special, Alira said. Not because of power, but because of heart. The human heart. Ryan didn't understand. What does that mean? She believed humans had something no one else had, a kind of inner fire. You break easily, but you rise again. You destroy, but you also create. You feel pain, but you keep going. My mother called it the soul. Ryan stayed silent. Alira looked out the window. They killed her for thinking that. Ryan finally asked what he had been afraid to ask. Why did you run? Alira looked at Nira, then at her. Own hands. We are not like others. We were born different. They said we were broken, but we were not. We were human, on the inside. My mother made sure of that. Ryan felt cold all over. You mean, you have human DNA? Alira nodded. Part of us is Earth. That's why we came here. This is where we belong. Suddenly Nira cried out in her sleep. Her body shook. Alira rushed to her side. Ryan followed. Nira's eyes were closed, but her mouth moved. She whispered fast in her own language. Then suddenly her eyes opened. She stared straight at Ryan and she spoke in perfect English. He's close. Her voice was deeper than before, not her own. Almost like two voices speaking at once. He walks between shadows. He has no face. He wears the silence. He sees you. Then she passed out. Ryan backed away. What was that? Alira's hands shook. The hunter. He's entering her mind. He's trying to track us through her. Is she going to die? I don't know, Alira said. Ryan looked at Nira's pale face, then at Alira. You said you carry something inside you. Something powerful. What is it? Alira hesitated. Then she opened her palm. A tiny light floated above her skin. It spun slowly like a star in a glass jar. This is called the seed. My sister and I each carry half. When joined, it can either heal a world or destroy it. Ryan couldn't take his eyes off it. Why give that to me? Because humans must choose, she said. We can't use it. Only someone from Earth can. That's how the seed was designed. Ryan realized the truth. They didn't just come here to hide. They came to pass on a power, a test, a gift, a curse. Suddenly, outside the window, the lights flickered. All power in the house died. Total silence. Then, footsteps. Not heavy, but not human. Alira grabbed Nira and pulled her close. Ryan reached for the shovel by the door. The hunter had arrived, and the truth was no longer hidden. Visitors at the door. Ryan didn't move. The house was dark, silent. Even the wind had stopped outside. The footsteps had vanished. But the fear stayed. He stood near the door, holding the shovel tight in both hands. Alira sat on the floor, holding her sister Nira close. Nira was breathing, fast, her skin colder than before. The small light inside her had faded. Ryan watched the front door for a long time. No knock, no voice, only silence. Then, suddenly, a loud knock. 3 slow hits. Calm. Too calm. Not a hunter's knock. Ryan waited. Another knock. A man's voice followed. Hello? Anyone home? Ryan froze. It was a human voice. The man spoke again. Name's Agent Wallace. I'm with Earth Defense. Just doing a check. Can we talk? Ryan turned to Alira. She whispered, Be careful. If they're human, they may still work with them. Ryan opened the door just a little, enough to see the man standing outside. Black suit, clean shoes, holding a small tablet. A badge on his chest said UEC, Unified Earth Command. He smiled politely. You're Ryan Porter? Ryan nodded. Just checking this sector. Satellite picked up strange radiation last night. Don't worry. Probably nothing. The man smiled wider. Still, we like to be sure. Anyone else staying here? Ryan shook his head. Just me. The agent glanced behind him. Strange. We picked up movement. 2 smaller life forms. Maybe raccoons. Maybe not. Ryan said nothing. The agent leaned closer. If you see anything strange, Mr. Porter, anything at all, you should tell us. For your own safety. Ryan gave a tight smile. Of course. The agent stared at him for a moment longer. Then he said, Nice place you have here. Quiet. Peaceful. His tone changed slightly. Sometimes, peaceful places are where the most dangerous things hide. Ryan didn't reply. The agent finally stepped back. Have a good day, Mr. Porter. Stay safe. He walked to the black car parked near the road. Another man sat inside wearing dark glasses. They drove off slowly, watching the house as they left. Ryan shut the door and locked it. They know, Alira said softly. They're not just checking, they're hunting too, just like him. Ryan turned to her. What do you mean? They work with him. They think they can control him. Use him. Ryan looked outside again. Use who? Alira whispered one word. The hunter. That night Ryan sat at the table with the sisters. He needed answers. You said the seed can save Earth. But how? Alira looked down. The seed is more than power, it's knowledge. It shows you what must be done. Can it stop war, disease, climate change? Yes. If the one who holds it is strong enough. And if they're not? Alira looked at her sister. It will break them. Ryan was quiet. So this is a test. No, she said. This is a chance. Nira stirred in her sleep. Her voice whispered something again, but this time in Ryan's own voice. She repeated one line. He sees you. Ryan's blood turned cold. The next morning he dug up the box where he hid the key, but the key was no longer still. It was glowing, now, vibrating faintly. As he touched it, visions rushed into his mind. A ship, silent, black, floating above Earth. Inside it, a figure with no face, wrapped in armor, bones around his belt. The hunter. He was not just coming, he was waiting for someone to use the seed, waiting for the door to open. Ryan dropped the key and gasped for air. Elira helped him stand. "It's starting," she said. "Once the seed fully wakes, he'll come, not to take it, but to destroy it." "Why?" "Because it's the one thing he fears." Just then the house's power returned. Lights flicked on. Radio buzzed. A voice on the radio said, "Unidentified. Object spotted above northern woods. All citizens advised to stay inside. Do not approach any fallen debris." Ryan looked out the window. Smoke was rising behind the trees. Something had landed. Something not human. The thing in the forest. Smoke curled above the trees like a warning. Ryan stood at the edge of the woods, staring into the distance. The radio still crackled behind him, repeating the same alert. Unidentified object landed. Northern woods. Stay inside. But Ryan had already made his choice. He didn't trust the government. He didn't trust silence. And most of all, he didn't trust waiting. He turned to Elira. "I need to see what crashed. If it's him, we need to know." Elira touched his arm. "Don't go alone." "I won't go far," he said. "If I'm not back in 30 minutes, run." He grabbed a flashlight and the small hunting knife from his drawer. Then he stepped into the trees. The deeper he walked, the quieter the forest became. No birds, no wind. Even the insects had stopped. It was like the air itself was holding its breath. Then he saw it, a deep black crater, almost glowing with heat. Smoke rose from it. At the center was something half buried in the earth. Not a ship, a box. Huge, metallic, covered in strange markings. It pulsed like a heartbeat. Ryan stepped closer. As he reached out, the box opened. No sound, no warning. The lid rose like a slow breath and something climbed out. It was not the hunter. Not yet. It was a drone. Tall, thin, with a head like an insect and arms too long for its body. Its eyes blinked red as it scanned Ryan. He froze. The drone did not speak. It simply raised one finger and pointed, past Ryan, toward his house. Ryan turned, confused. That's when he heard it. Another voice behind him. Not robotic. Not human. A whisper, like wind through metal. "Found you." Ryan spun around. Nothing there. But the drone was gone. He ran back, faster than he ever had, his heart racing like thunder. Branches scratched his face, dirt filled his shoes. As he reached the clearing, he saw the front door wide open, too wide. He burst inside. "Nira!" "Elira!" No answer. Then, he heard crying. He followed the sound to the basement. Elira sat in the corner, holding her sister tight. Nira's eyes were open, but glowing. She saw him, Elira said. He was here, inside her mind. He sent the drone to Marcus. Ryan knelt down. "We need to move now." "No," Elira said. "If we run, he'll find us faster. The more we fear, the more he sees." Ryan stood. "Then what do we do?" Elira took a deep breath. "We wake the seed." Ryan stared at her. "You said I'm not ready." "You're not, but we may not have a choice." That night, Ryan held the seed for the first time. Both halves had been joined. The moment he touched it, his body jerked like a shock hit him. He saw flashes, cities underwater, burning skies, the earth broken, then rebuilt, green, alive, whole again, and a final image, himself, standing in armor made of light, facing a shadow shaped like a man, but with no face. Then it was over. He dropped the seed, gasping. Elira helped him stand. That was the future, one of many. Ryan shook his head. "I saw Earth dying, and I saw Earth healing," Elira said. "The seed shows both. It's your choice." Before Ryan could speak, the house trembled. A deep hum filled the walls. Lights flickered. Then, silence. Elira turned pale. "He's here." Ryan picked up the seed again. It burned in his hand now, heavy, like holding a star. He looked out the window. A shape stood at the edge of the woods. Not running, not hiding, just waiting, tall, Still, wrapped in black armor, bone around his neck, and in one hand, he held something small, another drone, broken like a message. He was not looking for war, he was looking for a test, and Ryan had just been chosen. Voices from the seed. The next morning, Ryan woke up in the middle of the field. He didn't remember falling asleep there. The seed was still in his hand, glowing faintly. His fingers were burned where it touched him, but he felt no pain, only silence. Then, a voice spoke inside his mind. It wasn't Alira, it wasn't Nira, and it wasn't his own. You are not the first. Ryan jumped to his feet. Who said that? But there was no one around, only the wind whispering through the grass. Then again the voice. Others held the seed. None passed. All chose fear. Ryan felt the seed pulse in his palm. It wasn't just a tool. It was alive, watching, judging. Back at the house, Alira was waiting. Her eyes were red from no sleep. You used the seed too long, she said. It showed you something? Ryan nodded. A voice spoke to me. Alira looked alarmed. The seed speaks only to those it tests. You are deep inside now. Be careful. If it finds weakness, it will burn it out of you. He looked down. It said others failed. They did? She whispered. Many. Some tried to use the seed for control. Some ran. Some broke. Ryan asked what he'd been avoiding. If I fail, what happens? Alira looked at Nira, who was still unconscious, her body cold and glowing. If you fail, the seed will die with you, and Earth will be left blind. Easy prey. Ryan stood silently. Suddenly, a loud knock at the door. Not the hunter this time. A voice followed. Ryan Porter. It's Agent Wallace again. Ryan looked at Alira. Her face turned pale. Another knock. More forceful. Step outside now, or we come in. Ryan opened the door slightly. This time there were 4 agents, dressed in black, no smiles. Wallace stepped forward. We tracked you through the radiation spike. Something's glowing on your property. Ryan stayed quiet. Wallace leaned closer. This is your last warning. Whatever you're hiding, it doesn't belong to you, or to Earth. Ryan looked him in the eyes. Then maybe Earth needs it more than you think. The agent's smile faded. Behind him, one of the soldiers raised a scanner. It beeped rapidly when pointed at Ryan. Wallace said, he has it. It's bonded. Then something strange happened. The seed glowed through Ryan's shirt. Wallace reached forward but couldn't touch it. His hand jerked back like he touched fire. Ryan stepped back into the house and slammed the door. He locked it, but they started kicking it. Alira grabbed Nira and shouted, Basement, now! Ryan followed. They reached the hidden door behind the old shelf. It led to a narrow underground tunnel, built long ago by Ryan's grandfather for storms. They hid there as the soldiers entered the house, yelling commands, searching every room. Then, the entire house shook. But it wasn't the agents. It was something outside, a loud roar, mechanical and monstrous, followed by screams. Alira looked up toward the roof. He's here. The hunter didn't knock. He tore through the house like a shadow made of knives. In minutes, it was silent again. Ryan and Alira climbed out carefully, holding Nira between them. The house was half gone. But the soldiers were fully gone. Only black dust remained where they had stood, and in the center of the yard stood the hunter. Still, watching, waiting. He pointed one long finger at Ryan. Then slowly he touched his own chest, where a crack glowed in his armor. Alira whispered, He's not here to kill you. Ryan nodded. He's here to see if I deserve to live. Human. After all. The hunter stepped forward, but didn't attack. He moved like a shadow wearing armor, slow and silent. The bones around his neck rattled as he walked. His face had no eyes, no mouth. Still, Ryan could feel him watching. The seed pulsed in Ryan's hand, hotter than fire now, and then it split open. A small light floated up from it. Not a weapon, not a message. A memory. The memory wasn't Ryan's. It showed a planet in flames, alien cities falling, a species dying, and in the middle of that world stood the hunter, once a protector, once a king, chosen to carry the seed long ago. But he failed. He tried to use the seed to control, to conquer, to shape the future by force. And the seed burned, his world in return. He became the last of his kind, a silent warning to others. Now he hunted new carriers, not to steal the seed, but to test them, to see if anyone could do better than he did. Ryan looked up. "I saw you," he said out loud. "You weren't always a monster." The hunter froze. "I'm not perfect," Ryan said. "I've lied. I've run. I've been afraid. But I never wanted to control anyone. I just want to protect what matters." He held the seed high. "If that's not enough, then burn me." The seed flashed. A sound like wind and thunder filled the air. Elira cried out and dropped to her knees. The hunter stepped back. The seed rose into the sky, and then it split again, into 3 lights. One entered Nira's chest. Her eyes opened, glowing golden. She gasped and breathed. One floated to Elira. She stood taller, stronger. Her voice was clear. "I feel everything, like I never left home." And the last light returned to Ryan, but not into his hand, into his heart. The hunter stepped forward, armor cracking. His body shook. He looked at Ryan one last time and then bowed his head, not in defeat, in respect. Then he vanished, into dust. His purpose, finally finished. Weeks later, the government never returned. The seed had hidden itself, again. But Ryan wasn't the same. He didn't keep it for power. He used what it gave him, knowledge, to heal, to rebuild. Nira was safe now. Elira stayed by Ryan's side. Together, they taught others, quietly, patiently. And in time, the world began to change. Cleaner air, better crops, less war. Not perfect, but better. Because of one simple truth, the seed had finally revealed, the future doesn't need gods. It needs humans who refuse to give up.